Today I'm coming with another recipe for you guys to try. We are going to be doing two different types of dishes with the same one cut of meat. In our culture, in our Spanish culture, we love to have this with our rice. However, we are keto, so we will be having other sides with this dish. It's the same cut of meat that I'm gonna be using. However, I'm gonna do two different styles of at the end for two different types of meals. On one, I'm gonna be doing Ropa Vieja, which is old clothes, and it's in a sauce. With the other half of this meat, I'm gonna be doing fried cow, which is Vaca Frita, and it's basically fried in olive oil. It's seasoned differently as well, but two different meals out of one same cut of meat. What I picked up today at the store was flank steak, and you can see the ridges. This meat has the ridges. I also have this golden cooking wine, and it has no carbs and no added sugar. So this is a good wine to use to cook with. I'm also gonna be using what you guys may have as an Instapot. Mine is called the Power Pressure Cooker. So we're gonna tenderize and soften this meat in here for about 40 to 45 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk you through the first step of the process. This you would like to do ahead of time. So if you're going to meal prep for the week, this is something that you would want to get done over the weekend, from Saturday to Sunday. And once you have it prepped, then just cooking it at the end is not a problem at all. We love to have this, and I will be preparing it today, but we will be enjoying it tomorrow. So what I do is that I pull out my steak, and you're going to want to cut. So when you start to shred this beef, okay, you're going to want to cut pieces where you know, about strips about that long once you shred it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this in 3 pieces. And that will more or less give me even one, my second cut, and my third cut. But I don't put this in the pressure cooker this size because it's gonna be more manageable to cut those into 3 pieces as well, so that when it comes time to pull it out from your pressure cooker, these little strips of beef will come apart. So in essence, you're gonna shred it. And then I put all of this in my pressure cooker. Again, I will show you, I'm cutting about the same thing. It'll make life a lot easier when it comes time to shredding it, trust me. And you don't have to, even though you're making 2 different dishes, this part of the process, you don't have to do anything different. You're gonna wanna pressure cook all of the meat, because this part of the process is basically to soften up your meat and get it ready for shredding. With the one in the sauce, you're gonna want green peppers, onions. You're going to want more of this golden cooking wine as well, because it's gonna be in a sauce. And it's cooked a little differently. With the fried cow, you're going to need garlic and onion, and you're going to need lime. The fried cow is very simple to make. Now you're gonna take and I will be putting up the recipe with the ingredients and the measurements once I get it all together. But basically, I'm gonna add pretty much this, because you wanna cover your beef. And you can also use the liquids. When this is done, you can use the liquids as beef stock. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull this over so that I can show you how much beef I have in here. So my pot is filled about 3/4 of the way. So what I'm going to want to do is that I'm going to want to fill just to cover all of my meat and keep it underwater. That's all going to reduce, and it's going to shrink, and then you're going to have a ton of the stock left over. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Add water to my pot. I'm gonna set it for 40 to 45 minutes, and then we'll continue the process together. All right, guys, so after the time I had mentioned cooking your meat inside your pressure cooker or your Instapot, you're gonna want to remove the chunks. And I work with a couple of pieces at a time because as it cools, it gets a little bit tougher to strip apart. You're gonna use these two little gadgets that everybody has in the kitchen, and you're going to shred your beef. It is so soft that practically your meat will just fall apart by itself. And what you're looking for, I mean, I'm not sure if you guys have done this before, but what you're looking for is for it to just be shredded, like just shredded beef. Like if you have pulled pork, that's what you want to look for. And basically you just use your two forks and just pull the meat apart from each other. And you're gonna do this to all of the meat in your pot. You will end up with a broth. You can keep that broth and cook with it later on. You can add it later on to the one that the dish that I'm gonna do in a sauce, or you can just save it for something else. I'm sure this broth has a lot of nutrients from this meat. Very good for you. Collagen. I'm sure it has collagen in it. And I'm gonna go ahead and finish shredding the rest of the meat. I go shredding it and putting it in a container. I'm gonna shred the rest of this beef and I'll show you what it looks like. And I will come back to show you how I season half of this shredded beef that I'm doing so that we can do the fried cow. Hey guys, now I'm back with my shredded beef and I will show you how much I was able to shred out of that packet of beef that I had shown you. I'm gonna make this shredded beef two different ways, two different dishes. One of them is gonna be in a sauce and the other one's gonna be for fried meat. And I'm gonna take half of this and I'm gonna show you the next process to getting that one of the dishes accomplished. You're going to get an onion to an onion and a half, and you're going to dice it. So I've started here on a portion of the onion I had, so that you can see exactly how it is that I just go ahead and dice it. And you want them in small little pieces. If your family does not like onions, you can either chop them very tiny or you can make them larger and then they can just, it's easier to pick out when they're larger pieces. But doing them small, I've noticed that, you know, they're more tolerable for, let's say, kids that are picky eaters. So here you go, you grab your onion and dice it. And this portion of the shredded beef that I'm getting ready to put together has to sit overnight because it takes about overnight for you to, you know, mix in all those flavors to mix in to marinate together. And then here I have about 8 cloves of garlic and I just pounded them, I smashed them, and then I'm just going to chop them finely. Again, just so that you don't have those large pieces of garlic in there. And once this cooks, you're not even gonna see the garlic anymore. It's just gonna be for flavor pretty much. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a bowl. And I'm going to put half of my beef in my bowl. Yep, you're gonna get your hands dirty. So half my beef in the bowl. And you're going to make sure it's just shredded, you know. And basically this is gonna sit overnight and just absorb all of these delicious seasonings and onion and garlic we're going to be adding to it. Then you're going to just add all of the onion that you chopped up, you diced up. For the other half, you can actually make it the day of, and it does not have to sit overnight. So the other portion of this dish is actually going to be cooked tomorrow. And then you're going to grab all of this garlic and you're going to toss it in there. I'm a big fan of just adding salt to taste per person. So I normally don't add salt to my meals because I love eating very high in salt. I use pink salt to season my food. And so sometimes my family definitely does not like when I cook high in salt. So I usually omit the salt and just have everybody just add their salt later on to taste. Now to this, I'm going to add, again, going against what I just said, I'm going to add pepper, more or less, and then salt to taste. I'm going to add some salt now, but normally what I do is that I just let people add the salt that they like. To that, you're going to add, normally I just use lime. I use 2 limes, but since I don't have more than this 1 lime, I'm going to add 1 lime and 1 lemon. But you guys, it depends, whatever you like. If you like lemon, add lemon. If you like lime, then just add lime. And basically you're just gonna cut and squeeze it in there. And like I said, this is gonna sit overnight, and these flavors of the onion and the garlic is just going to sit and incorporate itself to all of this meat. And then tomorrow, when we get ready to cook it, we're gonna be cooking it in olive oil. So here we go. I'm just going to combine the meat with the onion, the garlic, the pepper, the salt, and the lime that I just placed in there. And when you start putting this together, you're going to smell, wow, just the onion and the garlic in there with the meat. It smells amazing, amazing. You're gonna love this dish. You're gonna make it, I'm telling you, this is gonna be one of the staple dishes that you do at home and your meal prep. I'm gonna rinse my hands real quick so that I can show you exactly what this looks like. Here you go, folks. This is what it looks like. You've got the garlic, the onion, you've got your lime, lemon, salt and pepper. Very simple, very few ingredients. This is half of the beef and 1 portion of the way that you can make this 1 cut of meat. You can make it 2 different styles. And then when I'm ready to do the second half, I'm gonna come back and teach you. And then once I'm done teaching you how it is that I season the other half of the meat, then we're gonna cook it and you're gonna see the results of the same meat, 2 different dishes. So I'll see. In the refrigerator overnight, it's now marinated in all of the flavors of the onions and the garlic, the salt and pepper and lime. You're going to take a pan and you're going to want to set it. I've been heating up this oil, so it's really hot right now. But you're going to want to take about a 1/3 cup of olive oil to begin with. And it's going to be really hot, guys. You want to sear the meat. Some of the meat will be less cooked in the middle. Not that it won't be cooked, but less crunchy, I'd say. So we're gonna go ahead and take the tongs and start introducing some of our meat into our hot oil. You can cook it in layers if you want. see that I'm going to put the heat back up. Remember, you've already cooked this once, so now it's just a matter of giving it that brown sear. And you're gonna, you know me, I'm always adjusting and playing around with my temperature. If I see that it's too hot or it's cooking too fast, then I lower my temperature. If I see that it's not cooking fast enough, then I put up my temperature a little bit. Not a big deal. You're gonna be moving this around. The smell is just wonderful. You smell all of the onion and the garlic, and you're not gonna, you know, you're gonna wanna keep an eye on the onion because you don't want it to burn. Burnt onion doesn't taste that great, and it sure doesn't smell great. So I go ahead and like a number 6 medium heat, let that continue to fry up. If I see that my meat is drying up, I just add more olive oil. Keeping in mind how much olive oil you're adding, because once you fit this into your macros, you're gonna wanna adjust the oil that you've used to fry up your meat. I don't quite know the macros right now because I just decided to start cooking this, but I am gonna put the macros together for you and post it, and the nutritional value as well. Set it into my Fitness Pal app, which is usually what I use to calculate my macros and calculate my nutritional value on the recipes that I go making. You just basically add all of the ingredients, divided, you add how many servings you're going to be, how many servings that the one dish is going to be for, and then you it'll tell you your nutritional value, your carbs, your protein, and your fat levels. And again, you just, you know, constantly want to move it around. For example, Felix loves to have this with a lot of the as you go cooking it, some of the meat will become crispy, some of it will stay tender because what's in the center won't cook like what's at the bottom of the pan, which gets crispy. So it just is up to you, your taste buds, what you prefer. But I always make sure that I get a lot of that crisp at the bottom, because you get a little crunch. I feel like one of the things in the ketogenic diet is that for those of us who love the texture of crispiness, we kind of lose it. Some of the things that we cook with don't. For example, pizza, a crispy pizza, we don't get to enjoy that. I feel like there's not really a real crispy pizza on keto. But with this meat, you have that little crunch of the meat that has cooked at the bottom, which we love. So basically, this is it. This is what is called fried cow. And this is what we love to eat. We will have this with some salad later on, or you can even make cauliflower casserole. This will go great with cauliflower casserole. But typically, we like to eat this with a nice salad. Either a Greek salad or a salad with some olive oil, some vinegar, salt and pepper. Goes perfect. I've got the rest of my beef here. You can either go ahead and make it all now, or you can set it aside. If you want to, you can freeze the rest and bring it back out whenever you want to do it again. And then towards the end, I go ahead and I sprinkle about half a lime. And that's it, folks. This is what we call fried cow. Vaca Frita. As you can see, I'm going to flip it over one more time to give you that last look of that crunchy beef texture that gets crispy at the bottom of your pan. There you go. That's one of the dishes. Then I'm going to come back and teach you how to do the one in the sauce. Now that I have walked you through the steps on how to make the fried cow, Vaca Frita, with the same cut of meat, I'm now going to show you how to do Ropa Vieja, which is the same cut of meat, shredded beef with the sauce. You're going to need a green pepper, a red pepper, onions, garlic, your meat. You're also going to need some olives. You're going to need some of that golden cooking wine that we love to cook with. You're going to need some olive oil, and you're going to need cumin. We like everything super spicy, guys, so we use cayenne pepper. And we also have reserved some of the beef stock that we got out of the pressure cooker when we cooked our beef down. You're gonna need the rest of your shredded beef, salt and pepper to taste, and we're gonna get started. First, I like to throw a little bit of olive oil in my pan so that I can saute the garlic and the veggies. We're also going to use these little packets of Goya. These will give it a nice flavor, and it will also turn your sauce a little with a yellow tint. So we're gonna go ahead and I've cut my peppers in long form. So basically I cut my pepper in half and then I just slice long pieces of my pepper and also with the onion. So I basically just cut my onion in half and then I just go ahead and cut it down to get long pieces, and I'll show my pepper long ways. And I will go ahead and put the recipe, as I always say. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw in my garlic. Now you wanna cook this not in such high heat, because you don't want the garlic to, and it's really just to get it started cooking. So you're not gonna like, it's gonna be in a stew. So you're not gonna like really like cook it really high or cook it like for a long time. It's just to, you know, soften up your veggies, that's all. And again, you know how I play with my temperature up and down, depending on where I want, how hot I want it to cook at the particular time. So I did half of a green onion, half of a red pepper. I got one onion. If you don't like so much onion, you can just use half the onion. And this is going to reduce and turn really soft once it's in there cooking. It'll take approximately about 40 to 45 minutes just for all those flavors to merge together. And I will put, remember, salt and pepper to taste. I use pink salt because it has good minerals in it and it's keto happy. So as you can see, I just eyeball my ingredients. I will put more or less how much I use of each thing. I love the taste of cumin. We do cayenne because we love spicy. If you saw my chili video, we love to go with a spicy food. You just want to get that cooking, merge all those flavors together. If you see that it might be a little too dry, you can throw in a little bit more olive oil. And that's what I'm gonna do. I would like a little bit more olive oil. Remember to put these into your macros. A lot of people complain that they cannot get their fats in. Well, did you put in your the stuff that you're cooking with? Your olive oil, your butter, your coconut oil. Very important to log that into your app. Like I use my Fitness Pal or Chronometer. It's very important that you add that. It's not just you're just adding the recipe or you're just using the ingredients, but remember to put in your cooking method, the oils that you use. See, it's just to get it started. So now I'm gonna go ahead and throw the second part of my beef in there. And you may think that there's a lot here, but all of this will reduce and this will become liquidy. And it will take up about half of your pan. So basically at the moment I've only used half my onion. If you don't think it's enough, you can always add the second half. The smell is just amazing. The peppers and the onion and the garlic just smells so good, guys. And it looks so beautiful. You've got multicolors in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my golden cooking wine. And I'm going to say about half a cup. Because remember, you're also going to use the stock. Now, what I did was I fished out the fats that were on top that had gotten together up on top, and make sure you throw those fats in there. That's very good for your dish. And as you can see, you can even see already how the level of meat and vegetables has reduced already. So that golden cooking wine just gives it a wonderful aroma. And I love to add olives in mine. And I'm gonna do about 2 spoonfuls of green olives, maybe 3. Let's do 3. It depends if your family likes the olives. My family does like olives. Plus it gives it like a little bit of a little kick to it. Like a little vinegary kick to it, because since you're sitting in the pickled juice or pickled olives. Now, for the last thing, I'm gonna add 3 packets of my Goya. And as you can see, the stew is already turning a little bit of color, but with this gives it the final kick. And out of that 1 cut of meat, guys, I made 2 different dishes, which is wonderful. So, you know, you have 2 options on how to prepare this meat, and you won't be bored with the same. If it were up to Felix, I would have done the whole thing fried cow, because he absolutely loves that. But, you know, I like this method as well, too. So, and now that those packets give this meat such a beautiful orangey tint, which is great. You know what else you can add to this, and I haven't done it? Turmeric is very good for inflammation, so you can add some turmeric if you like turmeric and you want to avoid some of your inflammation. It goes perfect with this dish. And there you go. Basically, you're just gonna let this cook down. Your peppers will become soft and translucent, so will your onion. Now I will go ahead and reduce the heat to a medium, about 5 on my dial, and I will bring this over so that you all can see how it looks. And we love to have this with salad. We can have this with salad. You can also do a cauliflower casserole, asparagus. It's entirely up to you what you want to use as your side. We typically just like, the way we used to eat this dish always was with white rice. Since we do not have the white rice, then we just have it with salad. And it's delicious. So there you go. I'm gonna let this cook. And that is the way you do the 2 different dishes out of the 1 cut of meat. Hopefully you guys like my video, and hopefully you guys can share and subscribe. Have a great day, guys.